courts, because we did keep numbers, ranged anywhere from 18 to 10, averaging 13 for a 6-week period. Per Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's success. To get a number of people to show up every night, different people, and play.
Then we could move it very easily to Washington Park because of the idle courts.
That would be up to the committee. Please.
Do you charge for pickleball? The programs for the summer for the kids, if they're not from Peru, they have to pay. Even if they are from Peru, they have to pay a certain fee for some programs. Did pickleball require a fee at all?
Does not.
And why is that?
Because I think it's a program that we're looking to get going. You know, I don't want people to get deterred by having to play the game. Tennis has been around a long time.
Yeah,
You know, that's something that's,
Do they pay to play tennis? I've never heard it before.
It says to be like $10.
yes.
No,
But all the
I
other
mean just at a
cities,
park walk.
Sherry have one, LaSalle has one, Opus Bay has one, Spring Valley has a tennis program. Ottawa, there isn't anyone that has had the vision to introduce pickleball to the area.
But the thing is we did.
So are you gonna charge next year?
We can surely discuss it.
Do you want us to, Sherry?
Yeah.
Should we charge?
I think that would go towards your fund of building a new pickleball court.
And how do you want to charge the people?
It's $10.
However, they charge for tennis
It's
or,
only 10 per season.
You're talking out of towners, right?
Everybody.
kids have to pay for programs in the summer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it should be the same thing.
How much should it be for out of town?
They do not. Peru residents don't pay anything. But for example, if an out-of-town, like Delzell person wanted to participate in our T-ball program, it would be $10.
Okay.
I never knew you had adult tennis lessons. And how do you find out about this? I mean,
I think isn't in our recreation program?
I don't know if I got it written up this year.
I mean, maybe that's why you brought that up. I mean, I've lived here. I took lessons in Peru when I was a young person. I never knew you offered any tennis lessons. And I read the stuff that comes in with my bills. And I happened to get a flyer on the programs. I never saw anything. You know, if you don't know about it, it's not in the paper, why would you, that's why you don't have anybody.
You also mentioned at a previous meeting the need for 4 courts for the hospital, the high school, and St. Bede. And I said, St. Bede's not even in the county, and you said, well, they have a Peru address. Do those people pay any fees for the use of the facility? With baseball diamonds, I know the high school maintains the grass cutting and striping and all that, while the high school is in season using the facilities. Does St. Bede, LP, and IVCH pay to use the tennis courts?
You'd have to maybe ask the city and the alderman because we've never been approached.
There's a place to start charging too.
But if you don't live in Peru and you don't pay Peru taxes, why aren't they paying?
Walk Baker Lake or to play tennis?
Well, I mean, are we supposed to have a
It's a
Same
police
thing.
officer out there?
No, I mean, they're not even
For
LaSalle
citizens? I don't
County.
get that. I go and play, I go play in the Conica parks all the
Pardon?
time.
They're a local high school.
It's a
In
public
Bureau
high
County.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, they accept students from all
Well, so does LP.
over, right.
Guys, look here's what we need to do. If you have a beef with where it's located, you have to go to the committee. We are no longer involved with that, period. No more questions about that, all right? We are here to vote on if it was a successful program.
But what,
I would like,
Maybe.
no,
what
no,
determination are you using to say it was a successful
the
program?
numbers that we have.
What
We're done,
numbers?
We're done, questions are done.
Who gave you
We
the
need to
numbers?
vote. Ray?
Well,
Well, based on the success of our first season, I would like to make a motion to continue the pickleball program for the original 3-year period as voted upon at the January 10th, 2012 regular monthly Peru Recreation Commission meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you for coming. All right. We need the reading of the minutes, the last meeting, and I will do so. That's this one.
No, you don't have that. Unless you want to do it.
I can, want me to do it now? The meeting was called to order at 6:33 PM by Brian Hartman, President. Board members in attendance were Janice Grabowski, Ron Kelsey, Tom Stewart, John Dyspek, along with Peru Recreation Director Linda Castle. Absent were Larry Whitey and Ray Zabrowski. Guests in attendance were Alderman Bob Kawitz and Alderwoman Sherry Mazak. Representing Peru Little League were guests Scott Carruthers, Robert Mitchell, and Megan Keeney, and representing the 28th Street Park neighbors were Bob and Judy Quick, Jill and Stephen Bernal, Linda and Larry Drzinski, Janice, please forgive me, DeGreat, Kim Borio, and Sammy Prom. Lois and Bob Carroll, Peru Town Forum website, were also in attendance. Scott Carruthers addressed the board first with his concerns over the lighting on the Little League field at Washington Park. Scott presented the board with the 2012 Little League lighting standards and safety audit, along with a diagram of the current lighting configuration, which is 6 wooden poles with 26 lights. Also, Scott presented photos of the current light poles in disrepair. Scott mentioned that the current light pole standards are 60 feet tall and galvanized poles are being used. The Washington Park light poles are 50 feet tall and pose a safety issue. He went on to say on May 9th of 2007, Universal Sports Lighting installed the lights on the ASA girls softball diamond at Veterans Park at a cost of $31,247. Scott gave us a copy of the quote from Springfield Electric for $47,225 for materials needed to place 4 steel poles, 24 light fixtures, cable, and mounts on site at the Little League field at Washington Park. This did not include installation, but Scott Carruthers said he could get volunteers to assist the city with installation. Megan Keeney said the Little League Board began anticipating this need 2 years ago, and they have placed monies aside for the project, approximately $9,000 to $10,000. A discussion followed in which Brian said our board will support the Peru Little League Board when they take the request to the Peru City Council. Brian suggested to Scott that he get 2 more bids for the project, and Brian will update Jim Putoff, Peru Electric Department Superintendent. Janice Grabowski, Secretary, thanks Scott Carruthers for his detailed analysis of this situation and his proposed solution. Jill Bernal spoke next regarding the pickleball courts at 28th Street Park. She stated that Peru is not a retirement community, similar to communities in Florida, and is concerned her home value is decreasing due to the pickleball courts at the 28th Street Park. She also presented the board with 10 pages of comments from the internet on pickleball court noise issues. Jill Bernal then played a cassette recording of pickleball being played at the park. Linda Drzinski read a prepared statement and suggested Baker Lake or Veterans Park would be a more suitable location for pickleball courts. She also questioned the board as to why there was a yellow plastic covering on the 4-foot east fence at the 28th Street Park court. The board responded that it was the same covering used on the short baseball field fences and that it is there for safety. Bob Quick commented that he is not against the sport of pickleball, but as the players are getting better at the sport, they are becoming more exuberant and louder while playing. Janice stated that usually only 2 basketball courts are filled at 28th Street Park. Perhaps the Recreation Board should consider moving the pickleball courts away from the homes and utilize the 2 basketball courts for pickleball courts. Larry Drzinski requested that we fill in the deep holes under the swing sets at 28th Street Park. He feels it is a safety concern. He also asked if all the parks should be inspected annually. Brian referred this question to Sherry Mazak. All the neighbors requested that the squeaky swing sets be oiled. Brian said that he would call Gary Black. Sherry Mazak suggested that in the spring of next year, we give a list to Gary Black of items to be repaired, painted, etc. Recreation members agreed to do so. Brian stated that it is our goal to bring successful recreational programs to the city and to get people into the parks. He said that our board will be reviewing the first pickleball season at our October meeting. When questioned by 28th Street Park neighbors about moving the pickleball courts, Brian read a paragraph from our ordinance amending the Playground and Recreation Board. Section 74-70, powers and duties, states, any structural changes to a park, playground, recreation center, and any other recreational facility or modification of the current park, playground, recreation center, and any other recreational facility must be presented to the Public Properties Committee and approved by the City Council. Brian stated that it was always the intention of our board to see the pickleball project to completion, but due to our ordinance being amended, we no longer can move the pickleball courts without council approval. Reports, a motion to accept the minutes from 8/14/12. Meeting was moved by John Dycebeck and passed unanimously. A motion to accept the treasurer's report was moved by Ron Kelsey and passed unanimously. Communications, none. Old business, Simon Campworth of the Peru Little League Softball informed Brian that Peru Federal Savings Bank may be donating scoreboards for McKinley and Sunset Park. He would know in a few days and inform us. Brian will discuss with Jim Putoff a strong box for the lights at Sunset Park being placed on the outside of the concession stand. The Nicolloid Park playground equipment has been ordered. Sand will be placed on the new equipment and we will not order a synthetic border at this time. Linda updated the commission on the run for the Rec 5K results. There were 57 participants, up from 41 last year. $500 was collected in donations along with entry fees. Next year, we will need additional volunteers. A volunteer will be posted at mile markers 1 and 2 and additional volunteers for a water station at mile 1. New business. Dates were selected for the recreation programs for the 2013 city calendar. Janice will email the dates to the city clerk's office. A discussion on adopting guidelines for public comment was tabled until further notice. Brian requested that all board members visit each city park before the January 2013 meeting and compile a list of maintenance equipment needs. Sherry Mazak requested that Ron Kelsey have the 3 fireworks bids mailed to him and available to be opened at the October Recreation Board meeting. They should include shell counts. Linda led a discussion on next year's arts and crafts schedule. She stated that the census for Fridays this past summer was low. She attributed this perhaps to the extreme heat. It was discussed by the board and decided to leave next year's arts and crafts schedule Monday through Friday. Meeting closed at 8:10 p.m. Next meeting will be held on October 9, 2012 at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall. Respectfully submitted, Janice Grabowski, Secretary. We need a motion to accept the
Motion?
We need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Okay, treasury report.
Okay, treasurer's report for the period ending September 30th, 2012. Available funds, $42,887.71. Very comparable to a year ago, we have $43,669.31. We did receive our second installment of property taxes to be used for recreational programs. And then 3 bills to be paid, cell phone, Illinois Department of Employment and Security, and the Halloween parade reimbursement.
Need a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion.
Larry, seconded
I'll second it.
by Ron. All in favor?
Aye.
Treasurer's report approved. Communications, anybody have any communications? Nobody?
No,
Communications, good. Unfinished business. Anybody have any unfinished
These
business?
numbers give back to us for us getting additional grants.
He did not. he said he was still working on it. I did